Hi guys, I have a very interesting subject that I want to discuss with y'all today. I've actually had a few people who have caught me on Facebook and have asked about this subject and for me to do a little vlog about it. And it's sort of a bedroom etiquette vlog. So it's going to be very interesting because I don't think I've ever really given my opinion in a very public sort of sense. But I think that it's going to be a fun subject, and I think that there's a lot of things that I could clarify on for some people that might be helpful. So I kind of broke it down, and I have a list here that I kind of put subjects into the situation, so it'll be a little bit easier and better organized. First thing I want to talk about is the beginners aspect of sex, people who are virgins or who haven't really got a lot of experience in the bedroom. And that is okay. Don't think that because you're not experienced, because every single one of us at one point or another has been that person where they don't know anything about it or have not, or they've read up on it, but they don't know what to do, like in person. So, and that's okay. So the first thing I want to make sure that you're aware of is you are using protection. And I'm not talking about just birth control. I'm making sure that if you, especially if you're promiscuous and you have a lot of different partners that you're going through, use condoms. There's a lot of stuff out there. And I definitely recommend if you're a girl going ahead and getting the Gardasil shot, which prevents you from getting certain strains of HPV. I think there's like 200 something different strains. It protects against like the majority of them. I don't know the exact number. It's 3 different shots and they suck. They hurt. You have to get like your first one, then you have to wait 3 months for your second one, and then you have to wait 6 months for your third one. But I definitely recommend it because, like I said, there's a lot of stuff out there, and because HPV is so easily transmitted. I mean, you don't even have to have sex. You could, a chick friend of yours could have it and share a pair of jeans, or you could try on pants or something at, a store, or you could sit on a toilet seat. I mean, like, there's so many ways you can get it. So definitely protect yourself. There's crazy stuff out there. So just making sure that you are protected. Now, another thing I want to talk about in the beginning aspects is you need to make sure that you are comfortable. If you are not 100% comfortable with what you are doing, do not do it. Now, I'm not talking about like nervous. Like if you know you want to do it, do it. And everybody's going to have, different things. Like my thing is I decided I was never going to have sex with somebody that I was not in a committed relationship with. And that's my thing. Some people want to wait till marriage. If that's your case, more power to you. I have a lot of respect for people who do that. And that has a lot to do with, religious backgrounds, whatever your situation is. Now, like I said, comfort zone is very, very important. You need to make sure that you are comfortable with the person you're doing it with. And this goes more for girls, I think, because the majority of my guy friends, when they talk about it, they're like, oh yeah, it's just this one night stand. Oh, that's cool. So, like, I think it's more girls who try to be more comfortable. Guys are usually just trying to keep up with their friends who've already gone to, whatever, home run, home base, whatever it is that you call it. So, girls try to be more comfortable. There are guys who feel like, they want to have that, relationship with somebody. So just make sure that you're ready, you're prepared, you are aware of the situations and your circumstances. Make sure if you have sex, you could end up with a baby. Or you could get a disease. Like, you need to make sure that you're aware of what the consequences are, if you go and, do the act or whatever. Another thing is do not be embarrassed over stupid things that happen. Farting during sex. Like, it happens. Sex is funny, it's humorous, it's embarrassing. You need to take things that happen in the bedroom kind of lightly. Because, if you're sitting there and you're beating yourself up, oh my God, I farted during sex. Like, it happens. Grow up, the situations and they're weirder than that, don't be embarrassed, be comfortable with yourself. If you're with someone that you've been with for a long time, it's funny. It may not be at the moment, but it's something to laugh about later. And like I said, that goes all back to your comfort zone. So you need to make sure that you're secure in that situation. Okay, so now that I've kind of gone through some beginner pointers, this is something that specifically was asked to be discussed with me by a friend of mine. The situation is, and there's so many different relationships I can think about that I've had people talk about, and it's 90% guys wanting more sex than the women. Now, sometimes it's vice versa. I have heard vice versa, not nearly as much though. The first thing I want to say about guys who want more sex, women are not faucets, okay? We can't just like turn on all of a sudden like you guys can. So y'all got to understand that. if you want it, you're going to have to put forth the effort. That means making sure and all women are different. Some of us are very mood people, you know, play soft music or light candles or, give them a foot massage, a back massage, do things that will, lighten up the mood, make us romantic. Don't just sit there and like look over and be like, hey, baby, let's do it. Like, that's not romantic. We're not just be like, yeah, let's go. And this is more like later on in your relationship, because early on, everybody goes through that like bunny rabbit phase where they're just like, do it all the time and it's all crazy. And then later on, the girls are kind of like, yeah, I'm not really in the mood for it anymore. And the guy's just like, oh, come on. And so we gotta understand that we're not like faucets. You need to make sure that you set the mood for us. Now, another thing, I know that the majority of guys who have been with women for a long time notice this. There are times where we just turn around and we want you like crazy, and sometimes you're ready for it, and sometimes you're not. Now, that being said, we are made by, we're created to produce. So our hormones are going to have a lot to do with, when we're more fertile, when we're ovulating, when our bodies are ready to make babies. We don't necessarily want them, but that's sort of the way our hormones work. We're going to want sex more when we're fertile. So, and I know that that's like the last thing you want to hear, guys, because you're like, oh my God, I don't want a kid. Like, I don't want babies either, but there's a whole documentary on Netflix if you ever have the time, and it's called The Science of Sex Appeal, and it goes into it goes into way in depth, like to like visually and sense and voices, like it's got some weird stuff, but that's basically what it discusses. Is our hormones as women, we know when we're fertile. So that's, not mentally, we don't have any clue, but like our bodies know. So that's when our sex drive's going to be highest. And even, visually, we're going to be more appealing. Our skin's going to be clear. Our voices are going to be more appealing. So, and that's just how it works. That's a biological thing. So also be aware of that. So, but it works in your favor, guys, because that's when we want it the most. And that's when we're all like excited and revved up. Now, giving into that sort of situation, like I said, it's usually later on in the relationship, and you get to the point where, either one of you or both of you are like, things are getting kind of boring in the bedroom. It's like it's always the same position, or, it's getting really short. It's just not as fun anymore, not as sexy as it used to be. And that's when you have to kind of get creative. And this is totally a person-by-person thing. Like, you need to know what you're comfortable with, and this is something you definitely need to discuss with your partner. Because bedroom stuff can get as weird or as crazy as you want it to be. And that, like I said, that's totally dealing with your comfort level and the comfort level of your partner. What you guys are into. And I know there are some people who are into some really freaky stuff. And, if you're down with it, then fine. As long as you're not touching little kids or animals, then I think it's good. Know what you like. Nothing, or don't have sex with dead people either. That's kind of weird. That's gross. So leaving out kids, dead people, animals, and bugs and weird things like that. But if it's, in the realm of normalcy, I think that you should be comfortable talking to your partner. Things, especially like role play. And role play is something that I think is really good for couples to try, because it really kind of gets you out of your comfort zone and kind of gets you to explore and do fun things. Also, another thing I definitely recommend, especially for women, toys. And I know that there are some people who have a lot of reserves about it, I being one of them. Coming from personal experience, from like, this is like not personal experience, but like testimonials almost. There's just time, and this is for couples too. It's not just for like personal use. Yes, people use it for that, but I know couples who, experiment with them, and it keeps things more exciting because you're using things that you're not used to using. It's different. It's got that newness to it that makes your relationship and your sex life kind of come back to life. Because, you have all these things that you got so used to. So the newness of something is going to spice things back up and make things more interesting. Also, I definitely recommend purchasing books, reading up on things like different positions, or, just anything. So look up different fantasies, whatever. Things that you two as a couple, and if you're into bringing another person, that's your thing, that is your prerogative. But you need to figure out what exactly you guys are interested in as a couple, things that you want to try. Make a list. figure out things, you know, and I definitely like sex games, like the sex die or whatever has different, like the things, like it has a different position, or it has like a body part and an action or whatever, you know, just do whatever works for you guys. But you've got to kind of take your reserves away from yourself, like things that you're not necessarily comfortable with. Because remember, at one point before you were having sex, it wasn't comfortable to you. There were things that were not comfortable to you that you had to get used to. And you kind of need to think about that in the sense that, you know, the sex is a very important part of a relationship, especially with someone you've been with a long time. That is your personal connection with them. And that's something that keeps you guys in love, keeps you guys connected to each other. So you need to make sure that you and your partner have that special relationship. And, you know, and I think that making sure that you keep newness in it somehow. I mean, or even do something that, like, when you were, like, crazy in love in the very beginning of the relationship and you were trying weird things, you know, bring back some things you haven't done in a while. Just keep something out of the normalcy. Make it not so monotonous and routine. And that's something that I think that would benefit a lot of different relationships. And so just do your research. Google is your friend when it comes to things like this, because you can find so much information. And then don't be embarrassed to go to websites. And if you actually honestly want good websites, I have friends who have recommended some that I would be glad to share with you guys. You know, and like I said, there's testimonials for most websites that give, you know, like, whether I hated this product or I love this product or whatever. Do your research, you know, and there's all sorts of different suggestions, and everybody's different. Everybody has different things that they're into, that they like, different turn-ons. And so you really have to figure out what you like out of your personal experience and what you and your partner are into. And it really is about just making sure that you are in tune with your partner, making sure that you are keeping some spark in the bedroom even after things have gotten boring. And so I think that if you do that, that it will benefit not just your sex life, but your entire, you know, relationship. You will feel better about yourself. You as a couple, y'all will feel better. So that's the sort of thing that I'm trying to, you know, get to in this video. So like I said, I'll go through a little recap because it's been a long video and I've talked a whole lot about a lot of things. Beginners, make sure that you are using protection. Make sure you know your comfort zone before you get into any sexual relationship with anybody, especially if you're promiscuous. Make sure you use protection. Gardasil shot for women protects against a lot of the strains of HPV. Very important. I definitely recommend it. Also, don't be embarrassed about the stupid things that happen during, you know, sex in the bedroom. Make sure that you're just, you know, take it lightly. Don't beat yourself up over embarrassing things that happen. 2, when men want more sex, just understand as men, we do not work as faucets. You have to work to make us actually want sex sometimes. You need to set the mood. Do whatever it is your lady wants. You know, sometimes it's a little effort, but it'll work in your favor. Also, expect our hormones, because we're crazy and we are biologically made that way. Blame Mother Nature. 3, spicing things up for relationships where the sex life has gotten dull. Make sure that you do anything that you can. Do your research. Buy toys. Buy lingerie. Experiment with role play. Do things that you and your partner would enjoy. Make sure there's some form of newness in your relationship, that there's some aspect that's new to you guys. And I'm not there. I don't know what's new. You guys need to figure that out. Oh, and I didn't mention this. For girls who want more sex than your guys, that goes right back to buying toys. Fix your problem yourself sometimes, because then the guys might finally catch on and go, you know what? Maybe I need to solve the problem on my own. You know, take things into my own hands. So anyway, that is my video on bedroom etiquette. I have probably talked a whole lot, and I'm sure you were really tired of listening to me at this point. As usual, comment, subscribe, share, like my page. If there is anything else that I need to do for you guys, or if you have any questions or comments, leave a comment, shoot me a personal message, and I will be happy to respond to you guys. So y'all just stay tuned, and I will have another video for you guys in a few days. Thank you very much.